Donald Trump has reignited global trade tensions by threatening to impose a 50% tariff on imports from the European Union. The US president accuses EU member states of using unfair trade practices. In his view, they include value-added taxes and unjustified lawsuits against American companies. Trump adds that the EU is running a huge trade surplus with America and that negotiations to reduce this are going nowhere. US and European stocks have tumbled in response to his remarks. In a statement from the Oval Office, Trump renewed his pressure on European companies to move production to the US.
I'm not looking for a deal. I mean, we've set the deal, it's at 50%. But again, there is no tariff if they build their plant here. Now, if somebody comes in and wants to build a plant here, I can talk to them about a little bit of a delay.
For more, we're now joined by Abigail Hall. She's an associate professor in economics at the University of Tampa. Good to have you with us. Now, what exactly does Donald Trump hope to achieve here?
So at this point, all I can really say is, here we go again. It's very clear that the president is interested in attempting to move production back to the United States or move production to the United States if it were not here previously. It's obvious that whatever is being offered or how these negotiations are going so far between the United States and the European Union are not acceptable or not pleasing to the president. The president has made clear that he has issue with various European trading practices, but clearly does not like the quote unquote imbalance that he sees in terms of trade between the United States and the EU.
And this hasn't gone down well in Europe, but if this becomes a full trade war, which side has more to lose?
Honestly, the answer to that question is no one wins in a trade war. And the biggest losers are going to be European companies, US-based companies, US consumers, as well as EU consumers. If you look at the total of goods, services, and investment, the EU and the US economy are the largest trading partners. They're the most intimately connected out of any kind of trading partnership that we see globally. And everyone loses. You're talking about major increases in cost, major potential economic declines in Europe and in the United States.
Now, we've heard a lot from Donald Trump complaining about America's trade deficits, in this case with Europe, that the US buys more from them than they buy from America. Is this a problem that actually needs fixing?
This is an excellent question because it really highlights how many people fundamentally misunderstand trade deficits. Trade deficits are not inherently bad. So I'll give you an example. Most people watching this program are probably in a perpetual trade deficit with their grocery store. Chances are they've likely bought item after item and spent thousands of dollars year after year at their local grocery stores, but those grocery stores likely have yet to purchase anything from their customers. And this is not an inappropriate example to levy in the international context. What this idea of an imbalance of trade, the US importing more goods than it exports, fundamentally misses, is that when European companies ship goods to the US and when the US ships goods to Europe, it's not just the goods that are being exchanged. There's also investment. And so these bilateral trade balances that may appear uneven is not really something that we need to be worried about balancing.
We've seen the shock as this news has hit the markets. Can this kind of volatility force Donald Trump to change course on this?
It's difficult to say at this point. It's obvious that markets are responding very strongly to the president's pronouncements on trade, whether they are executive orders or, in the case of this, threats that are made over social media or in press discussions within the Oval Office. And so certainly there is the potential for markets to recover. But as we've seen today, the stocks are down in the United States, they're down across Europe, and particularly for companies who have strong footholds in both the European Union and the United States. So companies like L'Oreal, BMW, and Deutsche Bank all saw significant stock reductions today.
Abigail Hall, thank you very much for your insights on that. It's Abigail Hall, Associate Professor in Economics at the University of Tampa.
Pleasure as always.